Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. It is me, once again, screaming into the void of the internet. I'm just speaking right there pretty fast because I really need to just get this off my chest. I know I've made this video basically like several times already. I've talked about the justice system, I've talked about public schools, but I'm serious. I'm going to keep saying it because it's so stupid to consider. Everyone knows that it's a thing now. Why is it still going on? Why is public schooling still mandatory? I don't understand. Listen, I'm gonna just go ahead and post in the video description, right, the full context. I'll explain what's got me worked up. Everyone is aware right now that chicks are just as likely to molest your kids as men are. If not, I would argue more, because they know that they can get away with it because, for the most part, they're chicks, right? And in this video that I'm gonna link, and I really hope that you watch this if you're one of the people that actually are listening to my videos, and apparently it's a bit larger than I anticipated. You know, like, for some reason I'm getting a bit more comments, and there are people just saying, hey, you know, I'm listening, and you know, I thank you for that. I do, because like I said, this is mainly done for me. You know, I don't really care about being a YouTuber, and, you know, if it does help you in some capacity, if it does, like, you know, encourage thought, then I think that's good. But this chick was essentially molesting this boy. I don't know for how many, the amount of time, but it got to the point where she essentially went to his house with a gun and threatened him, probably trying to tell him, you know, like, you know, if you say anything about us or something. And this is what I'm talking about, because I cannot stand these freaking bastards that sit around here and try and say, oh, well, he wanted it. His dick got hard and he came, and I'm sure it felt really good, so he wanted it, right? But here's my thing. If we take that very same sentence and flip it on its head, the world's going to lose its mind, especially the Western world, because the Western world has given so much power to women, right? And I might have to move, so, you know, if you hear me, like, stop talking and just start moving, it's just going to be because I feel a little bit of rain, but I don't care. Like, the Western world, you can't say stuff like that. If you dare talk about the fact that chicks have rape fantasies, they'll, you know, like, they'll get mad and say, oh, you can't use that data. But they'll gladly tell you every time you find a guy who's been assaulted. Yeah, and let's just go ahead and say, like, even if it's a grown man, because there are instances where men are raped by women. But, men can't get raped. Rape only counts as penetration, so it's not really rape, guys. This chick literally goes and she does all this stuff, all of the text that they have, all of, like, the explicit images and videos that they have there. And you know what the court says? The court's saying, oh, well, there just isn't enough evidence. How is there possibly... Listen, man, I'm so sick of this crap. Like, we need to just make school optional. School needs to be optional. Public school needs to be optional. Because every time you turn around, when you're looking at these instances where it's a freaking chick, like, molesting a little girl, for some reason, a little girl, a little boy, whatever, right? They're always involved in education. They're always involved in some kind of aspect where they're messing with kids. Kindergarten, freaking guidance counseling. They're getting a hold of these kids. And they always make it seem like it's just creepy arse men. Oh, it's the men. They only want to get the teaching job so they could be around little girls. And no one's saying anything. No one's saying a goddamn word about all of these confirmed freaking pedo bears diddling with kids. Oh, because they got tits and an arse. And you want to know what makes it worse? You want to know what makes it worse? Every time you turn around, it's like some married gal. It's a gal that already has kids. It's a gal that has family. God knows what she's been doing to these kids. How many instances do you hear? For example, I'm going to go ahead and talk about my community, right? In my community, especially like nibbas and stuff like that, right? With sisters and stuff, these guys tend to, like, have the belief that we need to, like, essentially deign or worship black women. Straight up. We like, for some reason, we are supposed to treat them as gold, even though they continuously hammer down our throats, so they do not give a rat's arse about us. They only care about you when you're a thug or something like that, and even then, they still cheating on you like a freaking gorilla or something. I don't know a good analogy for cheating, but, like, they're treating on you, and you're still supposed to, like, treat them like gold. And I'm just looking at this crap, and I'm seeing it in real time, and I'm saying, you know, to what ends are we just going to just acknowledge, you know, the proof in the pudding? Okay, like, let's be real. These freaking gals are sexual predators. Okay, you do not need a dick. You do not need to be born a man to be a sexual predator. And I would argue again, chicks are doing it more because they know that they can get away with it. Because listen, this chick's not wrong. She's not wrong. Listen, go watch that video. I'm not going to stress it enough. Watch that video. Listen, even though she's like in court, I think part of her just knows that they're going to give her not that big of a sentence. And you know what these freaking cocksuckers are trying to say? They're trying to say, because this is what really pisses me off, because it's just all a double standard. It's all a double standard, and it really irritates me. You know, oh, his dick got hard, so he liked it. So by that same logic, they're saying that, you know, like the young boy can consent to sex. Oh, it's going to feel good. Oh, it's not going to mess him up in any capacity. But when it comes down to like trial, you know, a freaking chick, a female predator, oh, well, their word, we can't go off of it. Their memory might not be as good. So hold up, cocksucker. So suddenly, you're going to acknowledge the fact that children are impressionable. You're going to acknowledge the fact that, oh, a decision that they're making now is usually based, you know, pretty much on the now, because children usually do not have any kind of farsight. They can't see into the future. You know, they're not looking down the road, per se. They're usually living for the now. That's usually how a kid's brain is. So we're going to acknowledge that, okay, they can't do that, but then we're going to just excuse the fact that this kid gets raped because, oh, come on, his dick got hard. He cummed really hard. He wanted it. I just gave him a bit of help. And listen, no one's talking about the instances where, like, she like, just gets him completely addicted to her, and he does whatever the heck she wants. I don't care what anyone says. A chick freaking molesting a little boy, whether she seduces him or not, is still freaking rape. You do not understand what that is doing to kids. Because like I said, in my community, the son husband crap, that's real. If you ask a bunch of like nibbas around here, in general, who had a very like rough childhood and stuff like that, I would argue they'll confess. If they're around the right one, if they find a decent friend, because a lot of times they don't really say anything about it. I thank God I haven't been diddled with as a kid, but I'm telling you, aunts, it's not always no freaking uncles, like, you know, the joke about uncles diddling. Aunts do it. Their own mother. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's always the most debaucherous, evil cocksuckers that, for some reason, have the ability to be around kids. And what is it with these freaking chicks where it's like, they're not ugly, you know? I'm not attracted to these cocksuckers, especially knowing what they freaking did. But I'm saying, they're not ugly. Why are they messing with these kids? Some of these suckers' freaking penises, you know, as graphic as I'll be, go ahead and say it, they're not even fully freaking developed. So if it's the whole, like, oh, I bet it's because he's got a big cock. No, not even close. They're not even developed sometimes. They're messing with 9-year-old boys, 10-year-old boys. They're not even always teenagers, not even close. And they're messing with them. And they're getting away with it. Why is it still required by the law for children to go to school if this is what's in school? All of the men have been completely ostracized from teaching at schools. The ratio of male teachers is gone. And why? Because we know that if a man is at that school, all it takes is one accusation. And how petty are people these days where they know that, oh, well, he failed my test. He didn't like my speech. I'm just going to say that he raped me. No evidence. The accusation is enough. It's over. That's the end of that career. That's the end of a lot of freaking careers. If that happens, if that goes through. And people try to say, oh, that's not common. That's not common. Even though we have all of the evidence where, no, it's very common. And don't forget, good old Amber Turd recorded, oh, who's going to believe you? You're a man. They know that they can do this crap. Everyone is aware. They are observing this crap. And they're getting away with it. This is why I'm just saying, we're at the stage now, like, why? Why